Hey Cancer, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works and we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So we're starting off with an intuitive vibe from the Oracle cards, and then we're going to move to the Golden Tarot this week for a more traditional spread. Oh my gosh. And nope, cannot take that. But we will take the bottom one because I think that might be important. If you get something out of these videos, remember to hit the thumbs up button and like them. And then also that subscribe helps other people find the channel, and it also gives me a little thrill. So you can subscribe. All right, anything from this deck? Anything from this deck? All right, yes, something from that deck. It's always very exciting when they fly out like that. Oh my gosh, too much. Okay, let's get going here. Oh, I just got this for a personal reading. I love it. Red Garden, you have changed, actually. You have changed. You're not going back to where you were and who you used to be and how you used to do things. You've changed. So this is a reassurance that you have changed. You might be looking back at something, at who you used to be, how you used to respond to things, how you used to act. You might be looking back at that. And you could be wondering, am I still that person? Am I still that way? But your perception of... I want to say your self-perception might be being colored by who you used to be without really acknowledging without the certainty of who you are today, right? So how you perceived an event and how you experienced an event back there, you were a different person. And now you've grown, you've blossomed, you're a new person. You've matured here. So you've got also an eye to the future. You're communicating about the future or wanting to communicate about the future. And there's another way in which my heater is about to go on. There we go. And then there's another way in which you've grown a little more privately, maybe not publicly, or creatively. And you've changed there. So this is the Red Garden is a beautiful, you've blossomed, you've changed, you've matured. You might be looking at a more immature event, an event you experienced when you were more immature, and that's being colored, and your memory of that is being colored, and your perception of yourself may be being colored by how you remember that. So there's some way in which you're not seeing something very accurately, and maybe even it's relating to how you've changed. But you do have an eye to the future, and you are wanting to communicate about the future while you're looking at the past, and re-examining things from the past, I feel like, from a new mature mindset. But you may not realize that. You may be still looking at something as if you are the person that experienced it, but you're not anymore. So. And then we have the observer. So this is, again, looking at something, examining something, being focused on something. You may be getting some intuitive hits. Right now, this is not an action-oriented card for you, for anybody, ever. This is not an action-oriented time. This is a time of observation and a time of, being very focused on something, getting lots of ideas, but being very focused and just watching. You're just watching something. I think this is the thing that has to do with the future. You're watching your future. You're getting a little cat in your reading here, Cancer. Hey, Jack. I don't know if Cancers have met my cat, Jack. This is Captain Jack. There's some visual distortion here, but he is actually a giant cat. Okay, but you're not going to be able to just... Well, he was feral. I mean, he's house trained, but he does what he wants. He found me. Anyways, so he's very pushy. Okay, Jack. Here I am rewarding you with pets. Not that rewards and consequences work with cats, but okay. Conclusions are within reach. I love this one because we're just going to try to work around him because I may have to pause and remove him. He's really trying to force a pet here. Okay, fine. Conclusions are within reach. What I love about this card is it's a lot about the same vibe of this card. You have changed. You have grown. Some part of your life, some part of who you are, it's over now. It's over. You're not that person. This is when we're talking growth, and we're talking movement through life. This is the valves in our vascular system shutting behind. So we pump that blood through to the next chamber, to the next little bit, and it closes behind us, and we, so that the blood doesn't slide down and pool into our feet, and we don't have like 100 pounds of blood in our feet and nothing up here, right? So it's very necessary to life to have those things close behind us. So there's some way in which you've changed, and it's very permanent. Oh my God, you guys, this is very distracting, Kat. Okay. New moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side. So I love this one. I'm sorry, people, we're just going to have to do something. All right, you guys, that disaster just continued. His tail swooshed the cards off of the table and all of that. Oh, he wants... Okay, let's hurry up here. Luck is on your side. So this is, I love this because it's like there's a direct line of something that you're wanting here and something that you're... So luck is on your side. I like the arrow. I like the directness of the arrow and going towards something you want very directly and very clearly. There's a focused energy here that I'm getting out of both of these cards. You also have soul family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do this alone. So, oh my gosh. So soul family, so yeah, making a genuine connection with someone. This would be like our Two of Cups, our kindred spirit. Our kindred spirit, meeting up with a kindred spirit or something like that. Like meeting up, I mean, this has to do with people. Like with the Two of Cups, I often think, maybe it's some sort of connection with some sort of activity or hobby or work, but this is very clearly connecting with somebody else, communicating with somebody else, getting the support that you need and the help that you need with somebody else, because you've changed. So if there's been a connection in your past that has been difficult for you to make, you have changed, and you can remake that connection. You're also possibly like changing friend groups or changing, who you go to support, that kind of thing. So there could be yeah, and just asking for support and looking for support, maybe some mentoring, maybe asking some questions of people in your life. And then here, this cat does not want this card. Here we have Acacia. So your guidance, divine guidance is divinely guided. So the point of this card for me is that it underscores something in this whole reading. It's going to underscore something in this whole reading, something that maybe you are dismissive of, or something maybe you're thinking isn't quite right, but if you're dismissing it, it's a wake-up call card of like there's something here that you're dismissing that you need to actually look at. You're saying, this doesn't relate to me, this doesn't pertain to me. So normally in these readings, I'm using my intuition to read the cards. You're using your intuition to figure out which parts make sense for you, which parts your intuition is grabbing onto things that even if you don't see it right now. You might see it in a couple days, and it'll be like, oh, that's that thing that Empress Rose was talking about. So your intuition is working here with me, and it's very collaborative, right? So, so normally I'm like, take what works, leave what doesn't. This is really pay attention to something that you don't think is meant for you here. It's actually, you need to pay attention to that. All right. Now we're going to move to the Golden Tarot for a more traditional spread. I'm going to attempt to ignore Captain Jack. Oh, crapola. There, this should help us. At least my mic wasn't on the floor and I wasn't stepping on it like with the Pisces reading this week. But, all right, Cancer. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, to-do list, and possible outcome. Wow, really beautiful energies here overall. Okay. All right, so in your recent past, we have the Justice card. So this could be dealing with the justice system, which sometimes may or may not have to deal with actual justice. This could be a brush with honesty, fairness, the scales being balanced. Something might have been out of balance in your life, maybe too much giving, too much taking, and the scales got rebalanced. This also has to do with integrity and with how we move through the world, and questions of our own integrity and how we're going to make. It's not just where you're going, it's how you're getting there. So this is this card raises questions about how you're getting someplace, what you're doing to get there, ethical behavior, that kind of thing. So, and I think we could also be talking about a karmic scales being balanced, consequences coming in for past behavior. And this is good consequences or bad consequences. We always use consequences as bad, but it's a very neutral word. It's just consequences. Like, you do things, and then the whole point of being here is that we do things and that there are consequences. That's the whole point of our journeys here, is consequences, the having an effect on the world around us. So some consequences may have come back for something that you've done, good or bad. But this is like the scales being balanced. Something got more balanced, something got better. And there is a lot of balance. I feel like it might be balance in a relationship coming in, because we have the balance with the Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. So you may be feeling unlucky right now, but this is a call to understand that this, whatever you're going through right now, is working out for your best. It actually, I like the Kurt Vonnegut quote. We don't know what, we actually don't know enough. I'm going to butcher it, but we don't know enough about life to know what the good news is and what the bad news is. So you may be experiencing something really difficult right now, but it's actually good news in the long run. It's good luck. So, and then, yeah, with this justice, with this soul family, there's like this balancing coming in with the relationship is getting in a better balance, in a better situation. Your current situation is Page of Wands. So the pages are learning, coming to understand things. Wands are about inspiration and creativity, that kind of thing. So you're just starting to understand something, which I think I'm seeing here in this Observer card, is watching and learning about some sort of inspiring beginning, some sort of, wow, you've got 3 wands here. So this has a lot to do with, like, I'd say creativity, inspiration, psyche, possibly even sexuality. So you have this Page of Wands here. It's very surprising. You weren't expecting it. It's very inspiring. There's a lot of sort of life-giving. It's a life-giving sort of idea, and it's brought things back to life where maybe things were feeling a little dull and drab and dead there. This has brought some things to life. In your hopes and fears, what you're hoping for is to be praised for something, to be successful in a very public way. We have 6 of Wands, by the way, and to be successful in a very public way, where people can see that you're successful. You want to be successful in a way that it's not just, that's not just private, like, oh, I did that really well, but you want other people to see you doing well and congratulating you on doing well, and you want that recognition. That is not bad. That's part of living in community. It's an integral part of being human. Our survival is, we're a collective group species. Our survival is all about our interrelatedness and the relationships between all of us. That's how, we're tribal, right? So, so you'd like your tribe to recognize you. This is all part of deep psychology of being part of a tribe, is being recognized. You'd like your team to congratulate you, or you'd like to do something where there's some praise involved, and there's some public praise. You'd like to be recognized, maybe even in how you've changed, but you'd like some sort of recognition for the work that you do, which is normal and is not to be something to be ashamed of. It's very important, actually. Obviously it would be. We're all working together in a community. We all need, for our survival, some level of occasional, at least, approval from our community, or we can't live like that day to day, and there's no reason to anymore, but it's still part of our psychology that we need that approval and that recognition. We need to be seen, and we need to be seen for the strengths, and the strengths that we have, and the ways that we are contributing to our community. It's that reward for contributing to the community, and it can be manipulated, of course, but it's still like a deep need that we have. So you're dealing with that deep need. What's at issue here is we have the Lovers reversed. So the Lovers card in the upright always asks the question of what's fueling your motion forward through life. Are you going towards things that you love, or are you making choices and decisions because you're afraid that you're not enough, you're afraid you can't do that, you're afraid of something else. I mean, and fear has this really strong, we think of fear on the scale of 1 to 10, we think of fear as like 10, like, but there's like a 1 that's sort of insidious in our lives, like making decisions based on subconscious fears and that kind of thing. So the Lovers looks like a practical decision needs to be made, and there are times for that, to put the practicality above the heart, I think. I don't know, they've never worked out for me that way, but the path of heart, the inexplicable path, someone's going towards something that's a little more explicable, a little more practical plan. And it's actually a bit of an issue here. This practical plan is what's going on, or the choice, there might not be a choice. There might not feel like you have a choice right now to go towards anything, or to go towards something you love, or to go towards a more practical plan. There might just be one of those situations in life where the actual choice isn't there. The internal choice of how to deal with that's always there, but the external choice may not be there. Or it could be a soulmate disconnection. There could also be a soulmate disconnection going on here. But I'm loving this 4 of Wands because it's in your environment, because it's reminding me of this soul family card. Is this community, this card about community. And we're already talking about community in 6 of Wands. And there's community around you. There's a leveling up. There might be an engagement or a wedding going on around you, or somebody's getting a promotion, somebody's committing to something. There's some sort of commitment, or even a proposal for a commitment. So this doesn't necessarily have to be about relationships. This could be about work or something like that. But there's a leveling up and a commitment. And this is a mile marker, right? We've come so far. This is where we are today. Let's look at the past, and let's look forward and start planning for the future, right? So there's a point here, a mile marker, a milepost, where we're taking a moment to look at the past, look at where we've been, look at what's happened and who we've been, and now we're planning for the future. And, this is the engagement card, the 1111 engagement card. So, but it does have to do with planning for the future while acknowledging the past. So just a mile marker here. There is a sense of public communication about it, communicating about this thing. The 4s are typically in the throat chakra area, about communication about something. And there's just like an abundance of joy, of accomplishment, and there's some really nicely balanced energy here. Coming in under this Justice card, we have this nicely balanced archway of abundance here. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful card of accomplishment, and accomplishment on a path that it's not completion of the path, it's accomplishing a certain milestone on the path. Your to-do list is Queen of Coins. This is starting to feel like a career or job or something like that reading to me, but it could be anything to you, right? Because we're collaborating here on our intuitions. And so we have this Queen of Coins. Her halo is her money, how she's working, how she's moving through the world, how she's career is on the mind. So in her career, so Queens, gender aside, Queens are about the internal journey, the internal drive, what the intentions are in the internal idea here. The Queens are in charge of the inner universe, so this is you coming into an energy of really thinking about career, really thinking about planning what you want to do, your next steps, the career ladder that you're on, where you want to go next. Really delving into the inner workings of how you make your money, how you move through life, what your next steps are, as far as work or making something happen in the material world, actually manifesting something. So really getting in touch with that. That's your to-do list, is understanding focusing on your work or monetary or some sort of journey to bring something into reality here. And then where you're going is the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man to me is about, it's a time out. It's a time to, you might be stuck somewhere. You might be stuck in a situation in your life. There's a certain element of, we can figure things out as much as we want in the situations that we're in. It doesn't necessarily change the situation, but we do learn a lot, and that's important. That's why we're here. So so the blood is going to his head, and it's causing him to do a lot of thinking about how he got here, the choices that brought him here, the decisions he's made. So that's where you're headed here. You need to really focus on, but the job, your to-do list is to focus on your work, focus on where you want to go, focus on all of that. Where you end up, though, is, there's no choice here. There's nothing to be decided. You're still here, but you can still figure things out, and you can still figure out. And this to me has a lot of planning ideas to it, as far as like planning how you're going to get out of the situation, your next steps, your next move, figuring out how you're going to release yourself. So the movement right now, as we started off with, there's no movement in reality right now. You're thinking about it, you're planning for it, you're trying to figure out what directions you want to go, where you want to go with this. But there's not going to be external movement right now. The movement's all internal. This is, he's untying the knot here to get himself free from the situation that he's in. And so that's all internal work. When the external gears of our life just freeze and get stuck and trapped and don't move, then the internal gears get to start moving, and we get to start figuring out, okay, this situation isn't moving out here. Let's look inside and and let's move some of the inner gears and get those going, and figure out how we got here and how we're going to get out of it. So that's what this Hanged Man is here for, is very important time to figure out how you got where you're going, and have the inner workings start really figuring stuff out. So, but first I think you need to focus on something, your own personal journey, and then you continue doing more of that. That doesn't release you immediately. It takes a while to undo these knots that have him tied up here. It's going to take a little bit to figure that out, but so the action isn't external at this point. It's just internal. But the internal action, the internal movement precedes the external movement, typically. And in this situation, that's what we're talking about, is the inner movement preceding that. So something feels unlucky, something feels trapped and stopped. But you are changing. You're changing in quite a permanent way. And whatever is stopped here, whatever choice where you feel like you don't have any choices, it's actually a lucky situation. It's actually helping you to figure out a lot of stuff you need to figure out internally. All right. And then the Wild Kuan Yin has for us, ooh, I like, sort of this protective vibe. As you're in this spot, as you're in this situation, you have people looking out for you, possibly real people, possibly physical people, or spiritual help looking out for you as you are on this place on your path. You are one of a kind. Your own path will never be exactly the same as anyone else's. The type of frequency you hold is as individual as your fingerprints. That uniqueness cannot ever be taken from you, co-opted by another, or compromised in any way. Relish your uniqueness and share it lovingly, freely, joyfully with the world. All right, Cancer, hope that was helpful for you. Have a great week.